winter essentials. Fleet Farm has everything you need this season, always at the best prices, guaranteed.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Tonight is the Knicks and Celtics will play in Boston. Game 2, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Knicks up 1-0. Celtics forward Sam Hauser doubtful to play tonight, while Kristaps Porzingis is probable, despite after leaving Game 1 because of an illness. Nuggets and Thunder play their Game 2 in Oklahoma City, 9:30 Eastern Time. Denver's up 1-0 in that series. Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry is going to miss at least a week because of a grade 1 hamstring strain suffered in last night's Game 1 win over the Timberwolves. It would mean that Curry's going to miss Games 2, 3, and 4 of their series with Minnesota. Dallas Cowboys acquired wide receiver George Pickens in a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers get a third-round pick with the team swapping fifth and sixth rounders in 2027. Day baseball, Guardians top the Nationals 8-6. Astros over the Brewers 9-1. Cardinals blank the Pirates 5-0. Giants beat the Cubs 3-1. Juan Soto has homered twice. Mets lead the Diamondbacks 4-1 in the 8th. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Wednesday edition of the program. We are live on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Back and ready. The Nate Brown Show is on. Thanks for being here. Hope you've had a great day. Remember, it's always a great day in South Dakota. You can book that. The Nate Brown Show streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show, so you can find us there on X at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live. Also, YouTube channel. We're up over 200 subscribers. Big time. Thanks to you. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, it's really easy to get to. You got every show there on YouTube. Watch us on your phone, smart TV, computer. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. The live stream is up and ready. What do we got on tap tonight? Wednesday edition of the program looks good from South Dakota across the country. Let's get you covered on the biggest sports newsmakers. Let's go with Chris Halleck tonight. He's our guest from Pittsburgh, Steelers beat writer, DK Pittsburgh Sports. So Chris Halleck is in. Lucky to get him tonight. Big news on the Steelers side. How do they feel about sending off George Pickens? How do they feel about Aaron Rodgers? The part owner of the Steelers, one of the part owners today, was on CNBC and made a comment about Aaron Rodgers, which I find very interesting. So we'll get into that. Chris Halleck joins us from Pittsburgh tonight, Steelers beat writer. We'll go FCS. Sam Herder is in. Interesting comments made about the new structure, potentially, of and power that these big conferences have. Where does that leave FCS as they move this forward today? Sam Herder is in. FCS senior analyst, Hero Sports. He's on tap. We'll talk NBA. Chris Denker is joining us tonight from San Francisco, the Bay Area, where Golden State What happened last night? What happened in Minnesota? I want to get to that, but Chris Dankers on. He covers pro sports, does a great job. Pro basketball scout for netscoutsbasketball.com, and NFL national writer tonight. Frank Schwab's going to pop by. Yahoo Sports national NFL writer. Great guest lineup. Try and get you some good, insightful guests. Had a great lineup yesterday. Looks good tonight. Let's get popping. The Nate Brown Show inviting you on. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline open, 605-720-1067, 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch at 3809 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. Great location. Also in Brandon. And stop by the Pizza Ranch. 2 locations in Rapid City, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Call us tonight on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. And remember, you can text the show as well if you want. 605-720-1067. Same number there. That's the Barron's Wilson listener text line for you. 605-720-1067. Mark it down. You've got it. All right, Wednesday edition of the program. Well, we'll start with a situation in Minnesota last night. We're just going to start with that, get it out of the way. Can we? That was a screw-up last night. I mean, I'm not a Wolves fanatic. I've been an NBA free agent fan for a long time since the Bulls' heyday, okay? But that was a screw-up last night like you wouldn't believe. And I'm sitting here going, how does this happen to Minnesota sports fans over and over and over? I don't believe in curses. You don't believe in curses, do you? But I'm just like, 31 points at half. You've never seen it. And Steph Curry goes down and the Wolves can't beat him. Can't compete with them. That's like Jokic going down for the Nuggets. If Jokic goes down tonight for the Nuggets, they get blasted. I mean, they get absolutely blasted. What's going on with the Wolves? And now they're making excuses today. We're going to send in film. They were fouling Rudy, and they were grabbing, and they're this and that. Don't give me that. That was a mess. Thanks for calling. You're live tonight, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm good, but you're the Minnesota sports fan, so you tell me.
True story. Yeah, it's not a good look. That's for sure. And you ask what's going on, like what happened, and this is a broader question for pretty much any sports team. Like the really, really successful ones, the ones that win championships, are the ones that have the innate want to. You know, like the Kobes and the Jordans and the Ray Lewises and the Tom Bradys, and like they hate losing.
Yes,
they absolutely hate it.
Agree with you.
The thing with professional sports is you're making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's really hard to care when you go home at the end of the day to a huge mansion and the drive is not a common thing. The talent is there, but the drive is very uncommon.
Totally agree.
Right?
Totally agree. What are you saying?
Right.
What are you saying?
So, love him or hate him, I don't think Ant or Anthony Edwards, whatever you want to call him, like he has it when he wants to, but he doesn't want to all the time. And I don't actually like him as a superstar, but
why not?
I wish we had, because he's not consistent with it. Right? Like the Tigers of the world, they hate losing. Doesn't matter when, where, like if they're on the field or on the pitch or on the golf course or wherever, like they don't want to lose. And Ant just takes days off, and like you can see in his body posture, he's like, I'm 0 for 30, whatever, it's fine. Like I don't enjoy that about him, and that's one of the reasons Minnesota hasn't won any championships is we haven't had that guy who's just, he can't stand losing and just drags the team with him.
That's a very interesting point. Very interesting point.
So I hope he pulls his head out of his butt and we take advantage of Curry being out. It's going to be kind of a bummer of a series without him there. It's more entertaining when he is playing. But
this opens the door, though. Yeah. I mean, it opens the door. Minnesota shouldn't lose this now.
For sure. My wish for the NBA finals is Timberwolves Knicks, so we can have the ant versus cat storyline.
Very nice.
That's kind of a long shot, I think. But
I wish, wishful thinking. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for getting on. I think that's a good point. That's a good point. I've made that point on this show. That's why I respect Patrick Mahomes. That's why I respect Tom Brady. I didn't tell you I love him. I don't like them, but I respect them because they're battlers. And that's the difference that nobody gives when you're debating Michael Jordan and everyone else. You can't debate that. Michael Jordan was the ultimate killer. The ultimate killer. And our caller's saying Anthony Edwards is good. He's a nice player. He's an unbelievable, talented player. Doesn't have the, I'm going to kill you. That's interesting. And by the way, that was a total screw-up last night because you have Steph Curry play 13 minutes and the Wolves can't win at home? And then I think Coach Finch, he's coming out today because he got on Anthony Edwards last night saying, you got to be the man. You got to bring the energy. You got to lead. You're the leader. You're the player. And now Finch comes out today and says, well, we were getting fouled. We were getting pushed and this and that. We're going to send in stuff to the league and stuff like this. I'm like, don't do that. There's no excuses here from last night. That was a screw-up big time. And now the door's open. Steph Curry's going to be out a week. That's the news that just came in. He's going to be out a week. So the Wolves should win this series. That was a mess-up last night. Very interesting call there. He's a Minnesota sports fan, longtime listener. So I don't believe there's curses, right? And you honestly know that there is no curses in Minnesota sports, but it's games like that where you're sitting here going, 5 3-pointers made the whole game? 31 points at half, that's a high school game. That's worse than that. I mean, that was not just, they kind of struggled. It was really, really bad. And now I wonder if the Warriors are like, wow, maybe we could play with these guys. Buddy Hield's hitting more 3-pointers himself than the entire Minnesota team. And people are making fun of Buddy. Jaden McDaniels, Wolves player, today said, well, yeah, I'll guard Buddy the same way I guard Steph because Buddy's not as good as Steph. That's fine. You can keep talking smack, and you guys just got embarrassed. The Minnesota sports curse. That's why people think there is such a thing. Let's move forward. I don't like the deal last night. I don't like the reaction today. They think, oh, yeah, it's fine. Can Anthony Edwards come out and be a killer? Can he be a killer? That'll remain to be seen. And that was a total missed deal last night. A terrible performance. And we'll see where the Wolves go from here because it's opened up big time now with Steph Curry out. This is not just, I mean, Steph not with the Warriors. That's Jokic not with the Nuggets. And I don't want to argue with you on that. Oh, what do you mean Jokic does so many things, rebounds and passes and scores? Steph is the Warriors. Steph is the Warriors offense. So if you can't beat the Warriors without Steph there's big problems here, and I wonder where the Wolves are going to go. Let's go to the listener text here, 605-720-1067. I blame the curse of Fran Tarkington. Wolves lose, it'll go to 7. Wolves lose, it'll go to 7. Oh, boy. We're already starting down that road. 605-720-1067, Barron's Wilson text line. Another listener text. When Timberwolves ownership had to give a max extension to Edwards, they came out and said he wasn't sure if Edwards deserved the max deal. Should have traded Anthony Edwards at the same time as Cat. Oh, come on. Hey, I'm not going to go there yet. I don't think we want to go there. I mean, Anthony Edwards, I was a non-believer early when he came out of Georgia. So I was a non-believer early, like, this guy's really, really a great shooter and he's going to be a great player. I admit, I was a non-believer on this show. He is one of the top tier. He's top 10 NBA player. He's top 10 NBA player, no doubt. So I'm not trading him. Listener text, maybe Jimmy Butler calling the Timberwolves soft was correct. Oh, yeah, that's what Jimmy said back in the day, right? 2018, is that about right? Oh, the Timberwolves, I want to leave. They're soft. Jimmy's a mess. I'm never going to be a Jimmy fan. Never going to be a Jimmy fan, but here he is on the winning side last night. He'll wear out his welcome in Golden State, too, eventually. Not going to be a Jimmy fan, but are the Wolves soft? They're making excuses today when they came out and reacted to it. Just stay tough, Coach Finch. If Anthony Edwards is going to play like that, I'm not playing him. I would not play him there if he's going to play like that. Sometime you got to hold guys accountable. Sometime. And I know people are going to get, I can't not play him. He didn't have it. And can he be the leader the Wolves need? They've been needing this for a long time. Jury's still out after a game one last night. That was a mess. Okay, let's get to this news story. I want to jump into the Nate Brown Show. So I just saw this in South Dakota sports. So we take pride in covering South Dakota sports. I've owned a company that covers high school sports and have a great high school play-by-play broadcast team and the whole thing. So I started my radio career doing high school play-by-play in South Dakota. Just loved it from the start. This high school sports coverage in South Dakota has changed over the years, and it's really ramped up lately with what? It's just like the world. Streaming games. And so I just saw this news today that there's going to be a new streaming sports app. A new streaming sports app called Midwest Sports Plus. Midwest Sports Plus. This is from Forum Communications out of Fargo. And we get on the guys from the Forum. I have a good relationship with these guys. I think they are really aggressive in sports content. I think they really take it serious, and they cover high school to NDSU and the whole thing. So Midwest Sports Plus is going to be the new app. They're actually acquiring Metro Sports. And for East River fans, you understand Metro Sports has done a lot of coverage, a lot of streaming of high school games. They've done a nice job with it. So that's the headline is Metro Sports is becoming Midwest Sports Plus, but then Midwest Sports Plus is going to stream high school games and provide high-quality South Dakota sports content like this. Huh? You never know. That's interesting to me. And so I said, this is the thing now in high school sports. I remember a day where there were high schools that didn't have any radio coverage in pretty big markets. Because I'm not that old, I even go back to the day I started covering high school sports at a couple of high schools that never had coverage. They didn't even have coverage. And we started putting them on the radio, and people thought that was a big-time thing. That's big time. Then it transitioned, so a ton of radio play-by-play. That was the big first thing. And it was pretty popular. I mean, it still is. Here's the next big thing. It's not just Midwest Sports Plus, like a streaming app of games. You got to have professional coverage with it. I really believe that. There's a lot of schools in South Dakota that are, hey, we're going to stream our games. And then they set up an automated camera, no audio, no nothing. It's trying to follow the ball. It's not good. It's not good. So I look at this and I say, this is a great step, Midwest Sports Plus. I like it. And then they're going to add the professional coverage in with it. And that's how we've had success. So you look at it, streaming high school sports isn't just good enough. It's like, well, we're just going to do the video and call it good. You got to have the stream, and the play-by-play with it is still the ticket. So that's where I see the South Dakota sports content moving forward. I really believe that. You can have a great online stream, but you got to have, in order to have a great online stream, you better have a good broadcast with it. I've seen too many schools, they're doing their online streams. There's not good coverage, not good camera work. It's automated stuff. It's not worth the deal. Let me ask you that, by the way. Question of the day. How important is it for each high school in the state to have their games streamed online in 2025? That's my question of the day. Just curious about you, because do you check things out? I do a lot. Producer of the Nate Brown Show, Matt Kearney, he's checking out games all the time. And here's why I think it's important. It connects you to schools and games that you normally would have no clue about. It connects you to this 9-man game that finished in this way. You never would have dreamed you could know about that. And you didn't, 10 years ago? And now we've ramped this thing up. So I think it's really important. I am going to add in, I don't think it's great just the automated stream, set up the camera, call it good. That's not what I'm saying. Stuff like this, Midwest Sports Plus, with a broadcast with it, that's the ticket. That's how we've tried doing it over the last, 5 years? 5 years. We've had a play-by-play broadcast, partnering with an online streaming company. I think it's been very good. That's the ticket. But I do think it is important for schools to get into the streaming category, not just so grandma and grandpa can watch, although that's nice. I think it connects more sports fans to high school sports and to your school that you normally wouldn't be able to reach ever. That's, I think, the kicker. How important is it to you? That's our question of the day. High school sports stream. Do you check it out? You think every school in South Dakota should have their game streamed online? Question of the day. Yes, you got to have it today, or no, it's up to the school. Not a big deal. 61% of the online poll on Twitter said you got to have streamed games if you're a high school. 61%. 39% of you voting, no, it's up to the school. Not that important for you. How important is it? 605-720-1067. You like the online streams? Frank Schwab coming up. National NFL writer. His reaction to the big trade today. Pickens goes to the Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys bringing in George Pickens from the Steelers. Frank Schwab next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit rbarapidcity.com to book your free estimate.
Forever Lawn Black Hills and the Rapid City Sports Commission are partnering and hosting a Sports Fields Live Forum on Wednesday, May 14th at the Hive, downtown Rapid City at 4:30 p.m. If you've thought about putting in a sports field and want to learn everything from installation to the best product for your field, this meeting's for you. RSVP to Christy at 605-831-9026. Learn all the ins and outs on sports fields from Forever Lawn Black Hills and the Rapid City Sports Commission. RSVP before May 14th to Christy at 831-9026.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Clear skies tonight with a low of 49. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny tomorrow, highs around 77. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 54. Chance of rain showers Friday, daytime highs approaching 79. 83, bright sunshine Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 65 degrees.
This Mother's Day, treat Mom to a brunch she'll never forget at the Box Elder Event Center. Sunday, May 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy favorites like prime rib, grilled salmon, French toast, a kids station, and endless desserts. Capture memories with our photo backdrop, stunning balloon arches, and sweet fluff organic cotton candy. And Hero Moms, active military, first responders, and teachers get in free. Reservations are required. Visit thebox.live before it's sold out.
As a rancher in western South Dakota, you know the meaning of hard work. From working cattle to working in the field, you know that the job begins before dawn and can last into the night. You also know that at the end of the day, it's more than just work. It's a way of life. When it comes to banking, you need a bank that values your time and is committed to your growth. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show is on. Thanks for being here. Chris Denker's coming up, pro basketball scout, talking NBA. He follows the Warriors closely. He's out of San Francisco. Warriors just stunned the Wolves last night. I mean, that was bad. That was bad. Chris Denker's coming up from San Francisco. Net Scouts basketball, former D1 coach. Chris Halleck's on tonight from Pittsburgh. The Steelers' reaction to getting rid of George Pickens, the trade. Chris Halleck, Steelers beat writer, on tap. Let's go to the National NFL side. Get reaction first from Frank Schwab, YahooSports.com. I just saw his piece here saying the Cowboys get Pickens. It's a risk worth taking. Or the risk that the Cowboys had to take, maybe. Frank Schwab on tonight. Frank, good to have you. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Doing good, man. You kind of laid this out as, hey, the Cowboys are going to take a shot here. You think they had to do something like this?
I mean, they just had nobody else in the offense other than CeeDee Lamb, and that includes a running game, too. I don't really trust Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders to have a big year. So they needed something, and, you know, anybody you acquire at this time of year is going to have some flaws, right? Like, it's just how it is, and we all know George Pickens could be a handful, but he's also 24 years old. He has a 1,000-yard season. He led the NFL in yards per reception 2 years ago. The talent is there, and I don't know if they can, you know, get the best out of him, but it is a contract year. I mean, somebody's got to be in George Pickens' ear saying, this is a fresh start for you. If you don't screw this up, you could be a multimillionaire in 7-8 months, whatever it is. And we'll see if that gets through to him. But, yeah, I mean, look, even if it's a one-year rental for the Cowboys, well, you know what? The Texans just paid a second-rounder for 1 year of Stephon Diggs a year ago. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not the most egregious thing ever. I think that, you know, this was kind of a smart risk, I think, for the Cowboys to take a shot on a talented player in a contract year. It doesn't mean it's going to work out, but this was a huge, huge need for them, and they filled it the best they could.
Do you think it's a red flag, Frank, that the Steelers unloaded him?
Oh, for sure. I mean, absolutely it is. That they basically had to use a second-round pick to go trade for DK Metcalf, who is the same guy as George Pickens. And then immediately it's like, well, now they got to get rid of George Pickens. I think that, yes. Look, there's no question. I don't even think it's a secret in the NFL. He can be a pain. He can be a bad teammate. He can be a lot of things you don't want in your locker room. But, again, anybody you acquire on May 7th in the NFL is going to have some flaws to them. There's no perfect solution for the Cowboys here. They weren't going to go get Justin Jefferson right now. I mean, something like that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I think that the Cowboys walk into this knowing full well the risks involved, and they just said, hey, you know, that's fine because we had to do something to upgrade our offense, and the options were limited.
How competitive is the NFC East? Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders. Some people say, oh, the Giants might get in the mix. Is the NFC East a tough road for the Cowboys this year?
It's going to be a tough road because, I mean, you have the defending champs to start with. They're not going anywhere. They're so class in that division. I'm starting to wonder if the Commanders are going to be a regression team this year, take a couple steps back before they go move forward again next year. But Dane Daniels is so good that might not happen. And, yeah, the Giants I don't think are an easy out anymore. Let's put it that way. They're going to finish last place, I think. But it's a more competitive team. And when it's not going to win 4 games again, I think it'll be better than that. So, yeah, it is a very tough division. And the Cowboys had to look at their roster and say, you know what, we won 12 games 3 years in a row. Had a bad year last year. But there were some flaws. There's some holes here. And I think they've actually done a decent job. I didn't love their free agency, really. They just signed a lot of former failed first-round picks, basically, which usually does not work out. But the draft was good. I thought they got good value. The one problem I had is that they didn't address receiver, and they had a plan for that, apparently. So I think the Cowboys understand that they're a pretty good football team, one that everybody just piled on because of the Cowboys, and it's fun to dunk on them or whatever. But again, they won 36 games between 2021 and 2023. And I think that they view that as we can get back to about that level. And why not get a little aggressive on something like trading for George Pickens? Frank Schwab writing on this. George Pickens goes from the Steelers to the Cowboys today. YahooSports.com. Frank Schwab in tonight. Let's shift here. Couple of guys from the draft. Travis Hunter's getting ready to put in work for the Jaguars. Does he go wide receiver a ton? A little bit of cornerback? How do you think this is really going to play out in the NFL? Yeah, my guess is mostly full-time receiver. 80-90% of the snaps, which is totally reasonable. Maybe 30 to 40% of the defensive snaps. Look, we saw what the Jaguars gave up to get him, and you don't do that just to play him at receiver. It'd be weird. It'd be a weird allocation of your resources. You have to view that guy as more than just your standard first-round pick, even the second pick overall. You don't trade the farm to draft a receiver second overall. Just play it. You need something other than that, and what they can get other than that is him on the defensive side to really help there, which you need that too. So I don't know. I think these next 2 months are really important to see what they get him in the building, they get him in their meeting rooms, they understand what he can handle as far as mentally and physically, and then you come up with a plan for training camp, and then going into the season. I think he can do it. Maybe I'm just hoping because I think it would be such a cool story, but I don't see why not. Like everybody says, well, nobody's ever done this before. Yeah, nobody's ever won a Heisman Trophy playing both ways either. But he did that, so he's just different. He's one of these unique guys. Nobody would have thought before Shohei Ohtani that the best hitter in baseball could also be a top 10 starting pitcher, but here we are. Some guys are just built different, and I think he is, and I think it's important for the Jaguars these next couple months in OTAs, mini camps, to really get a feel of here's what Travis Hunter can do. He's obviously very excited to play as much as he can, and I love that about him. But I think they need to get a realistic grasp on, this is realistically what he can handle from a meeting standpoint, from a practice standpoint, and then obviously from just a punishment it takes on your body, that standpoint as well. How about Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland, Frank? Here's my question. They got so many quarterbacks, and everybody knows this. The Browns know this. So he's got high jersey sales, the biggest brand, the biggest name, and he's sitting here way behind all these other guys. So how are the Browns really going to handle this? I don't know. It's a tricky situation for sure. And Dylan Gabriel was not cheap. I think it was a 94th pick of the draft overall, third-round pick. That's a very valuable pick. I think top 100 is very valuable. And the Browns looked at Dylan Gabriel, and they look at Shedeur Sanders, and they said, we're drafting Dylan Gabriel. Now, they drafted Shedeur later, but they made a choice, and they said, we prefer Dylan Gabriel. And, look, things can change in practice and training camp, preseason. Shedeur could leapfrog him, but I think he starts clearly as the fourth guy, and not many reps go to the fourth guy. It's just how the NFL works. There's not unlimited practice reps to go around. So it'll be very interesting to see how he embraces the competition, how he embraces having to start at the bottom, which he really hasn't had to do because he's just been so good throughout high school, college, and all that. So I don't know. There's just going to be a lot of attention on this. There's never been attention like this on a fourth-string quarterback before. It's just different, and the Browns are going to have to, manage this, and they're going to have to figure out how to give. And there is the possibility that they get him in on the practice field, and all of a sudden they say, "Oh wow, this is why some people thought he could be a first-round pick. This is pretty impressive." I think he has that talent, so it'll be very interesting to see over the next couple months kind of how it shakes out as far as can he kind of get past being the number 4 guy to depth chart, get more reps going into the preseason. How can he make this a competition? Because there's not even guaranteed Browns are going to keep 4 quarterbacks. It's pretty unusual in the NFL. So everything about the competition starts now for Shedeur Sanders. He can't afford to wait till training camp. He's got to start to make an impression on this coaching staff right away.
Okay, Steelers part owner was on CNBC today and said, they asked him about Aaron Rodgers. He said, "I'm here to talk about AI. The Aaron Rodgers thing is more complex than AI." So what should we take away from that?
I just think it was just an offhand joke, trying to get out of a question he didn't want to answer. I don't think it's very complicated at this point at all. To not be flip about it, but the Steelers are going to sign Aaron Rodgers, and if they don't, I think it would be a surprise to everybody right now. We know Aaron Rodgers has some stuff going on. He doesn't want to sign right away. You kind of view it as, if he did sign today and then said, "Okay, I've signed with the Steelers, I'm going to go off and deal with this personal issue for the next 2 months," we talk about it every day. He skipped a mini camp last year. We made a federal investigation out of it, which he should have been there. I'll say that. But if he signs right now, the whole talk is, where's Aaron Rodgers? Why isn't he here? Why isn't he showing up? Now it's just kind of a different deal. Yes, he's unsigned. There's something uncertain about that I'm sure the Steelers are uncomfortable with. But I think they know he's coming. I think that every move they've made has been, under the lens of, well, Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback. And it's hard to believe otherwise. So I don't take anything out of the comment. I just don't think he wanted to answer the question. He was trying to be funny. And I think it's inevitable Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers. No sign anything else is pointed, to another outcome here. I think he'll sign. When, I don't know. If it's going to work out, I don't know. But I think that everybody kind of assumes at this point that's going to be the outcome.
Frank Schwab in tonight, getting us going. National NFL writer, YahooSports.com. Catch him at Yahoo Sports. Frank, good to have you. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time tonight. Frank Schwab, national NFL writer, on tonight, YahooSports.com. Find him on Twitter at Yahoo Schwab. Follow him there. Frank Schwab getting us started on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. He says, a risk the Cowboys had to take, bringing in one of those drama wide receivers. I watched George Pickens a little bit. I haven't watched him a ton, but I watched him a little bit because I'm watching my boy Russell Wilson, my boy. And George Pickens, it's just one of those classic head cases. There's just head cases. So leave it up to the Cowboys to bring in a head case. So he was like the number 1 guy in Pittsburgh, basically. Maybe you could say the tight end eventually was, but he was the number 1 guy essentially, and you couldn't rely on him. He'd sometimes run his route, sometimes wouldn't. They'd get down. He'd bag it. You can't. Now he's going to be the number 2 guy behind CeeDee Lamb, and we think George is going to be better. That's my red flag here. Is he was the guy in Pittsburgh, and he still bagged it. Now he's going to be the number 2 guy. CeeDee's the guy. George Pickens, the number 2 guy. I'm sure that might go well. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Interesting stuff. Steelers send George Pickens to the Cowboys today, a big trade. Let's go to Chris Denker. He's a great basketball guy. Net Scouts basketball, pro basketball scout. What does he say about Anthony Edwards, the up and down roller coaster, and the mess up last night? Chris Denker on next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Deals are popping up all over the place this week at Fleet Farm. Like Farm Fresh Selects veggie and herb plants, 3 for $9.99. 1 cubic foot bags of Miracle Grow Moisture Control Potting Mix are just $9.99. And ladies' Carhartt Tencel t-shirts are 25% off. From garden staples to workwear essentials, Fleet Farm has everything you need this season. Always at the best prices, guaranteed.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com. Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Mr. Liquor 2 would like to thank the thousands of customers who purchased spirits in their new location off Catron since they opened in mid-November. Join the crowd who's discovered the unmatched selection of spirits, beers, and wines. Order from their 20 draft beers in the adjoining Campfire Bar and enjoy it while you shop. Plus, keep up to date on in-store beverage tastings and food truck appearances on the Mr. Liquor Facebook page. Thank you again for your business from the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart, or their original location on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Thanks for making the show possible. Appreciate it. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. If you missed parts of the show this week, anytime, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. The show is there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you download podcasts. Search the Nate Brown Show, and you don't miss any guests. That way you can check out who was on from high school to college to the pros. Got you covered. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on tonight. Chris Denker's in, one of our favorite basketball guests. Former D1 head coach, pro basketball scout, Net Scouts Basketball. Net Scouts Basketball. Chris, good to have you on. How are you?
Always good to be here, Nate. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. I said I think Chris is going to be pretty happy today. You follow the Warriors there in the Bay Area, and I think you're going to be pretty happy. A lot of Wolves fans up here pretty ticked off after last night. 31 points in the first half. As you're watching this thing, I'll just get your reaction to Anthony Edwards first. Chris Finch, head coach, called him out after the game. He's got to be better energy, better leader. It starts with him. Does Anthony Edwards have that killer instinct? Does he have that superstar, I'm going to be the best instinct? What's your takeaway on Anthony Edwards?
You know, it's interesting. I always appreciate Coach Finch, and he kind of just tells it like it is, and I do kind of like that versus just, you know, as a coach myself, I'll tell you, you don't always like some of the questions, and there certainly over the last month or so, there's been some weird ones and guys getting upset on the podium and whatnot. But at the end of the day, just a simple answer and move along, and just being honest and straightforward is refreshing to me. And he was that way with Edwards. He just basically, as you said, he kind of called him out, said, look, he's our guy, he's the head of the snake, he's our best player, and he needs to be better. Now, interesting kind of side to that, if you look, he was only 1 of 5 from 3, but he's not a high-volume three-point guy anyway. Although he's a very good three-point shooter, you know, he's not going to shoot 12 or 13 in a game. He was 9 of 22. I mean, that's not terrible. And for a guy who's getting a lot of attention from the defense, and then he had 14 rebounds. So I think as I look at it, 3 steals led the team by far, significant. There were a lot of things that he did do that suggested that he had energy. And so, you know, now from a leadership perspective, vocally, you know, he's a very outspoken guy. Even when he was on the Olympic team, went in there and said, "Oh yeah, this is my team. I'm the man," you know. And I don't know how much he's kind of joking versus serious, but that's sort of what he portrays at all times. And I just didn't feel like the other guys, you know, stepped up much either. Now, some of that could be that the Warriors did, but you know, if he's suggesting, if Finch is suggesting that Edwards, who had 23 and was, you know, their leading scorer, some of Reed's 19 came very late when it didn't matter. But if he's going to have to score 40 for them to win, then I think that's a problem for Minnesota.
Okay, that's interesting. Here's what I think the problem is. I'm going to go to Boston. They play tonight, and I think they'll win, but I think they're better than the Knicks. But they missed a boatload of threes the other night and lost. I mean, a boatload. I think Minnesota was 5 of 29 last night. So they're shooting all these threes. They're missing them. So is the play, Chris, still we have to shoot threes? That's the analytics. That's how you win. You just live and die. Is that it?
So you mentioned 5 of 29 from Minnesota, and yet Boston took twice as many. They took 60 3-point shots.
Missed 45, right? Missed 45.
45, yes, exactly. And in the second half, they took 49 or 50 field goal attempts, and almost 40 were threes. And I believe they were 10 for 50. And so now the other side of that is, you know, and you mentioned analytics. Okay. I'm not against analytics, and there are certain, as a coach, I always evaluated statistics. You know, go way back to North Carolina with Dean Smith. He would talk about getting more possessions, turning the ball over less, winning the rebounding margin means you're going to have more opportunities to score. And so there's certainly a math, you know, sort of equation to winning a game. I totally buy into that, and I believe all that to be true. The three-point shot, you know, has certainly changed the game, and I agree with that. I understand that. But what I don't understand, and I don't agree at all, is what the Celtics, for example, did. And then this goes back to the Chris Finch comment. Now you got a coach like Joe Mazzulla who's going to just sort of joke with the media or pretend as though he has a different way, you know, smartest guy in the room, going to answer it how he wants to answer it and not give you anything. And the question was simply, you're good with being 15 for 60 from 3, and he suggested it was just all about, well, it just didn't go in. Unlucky. And I don't buy that at all. And I think it's shot quality. And yes, you want to make her not a shot taker, but they were shot takers, and they took bad shots. And if you go back and look at some of the analytics, let's use analytics since they're the ones bringing up why we shoot three-point shots, they didn't touch the paint. I think it was the last 7 possessions of the third quarter they shot threes and never pierced the paint. They never, ever got to the key. You're not going to shoot good ever doing that. Let's go back to old school, inside out. Throw it into Patrick Ewing. They double, kick it out, open shot. Whatever the case may be, call it old school, new school. The Warriors are better when they penetrate the paint and then kick it out. And it's been that way since they were the Splash Brothers with Klay Thompson. They're not just kind of dribbling down the floor, jacking up threes, and they go in. That's not how it works. And defenses are too good coaches are too good, scouting reports, preparation, 7-game series. You're seeing the same team every game. You're not just going to watch Steph Curry dribble down, shoot a three, or Jason Tatum dribble down, shoot a three. You got to do something offensively to generate quality looks, and I don't think they did that at all.
I want to ask you about last night. One more on the Wolves. They lose when Steph Curry only played 13 minutes. I said the Warriors losing Curry, and you watched him even more than me. That's their offense. I mean, he is their offense. I know they'll get a few here and there, and Jimmy gives them some, but he is their offense, and he's out, and the Warriors still win. So what's that tell you about this series? Steph's going to be out a week. I mean, this is bad news for the Warriors, but can the Wolves rebound here?
Yeah, it's very bad news for the Warriors, and it's a concern that it is going to be a week. I mean, it's looking like Game 5 or Game 6. I think there's, I want to say, 4 days in between, 5 days in between games, 5 and 6. So there is some room, but if by Game 6, the Wolves could win it. So the Wolves can definitely bounce back at home. I don't think that that's any surprise, tomorrow. But then, the Warriors will have done what they, I think most teams, you set out to get home court advantage, right? If you can go in and all 4, I think it's the first time it's ever happened, all 4 game 1s of these 4 series went to the road team. And so the road team now has captured home court advantage. Well, the Warriors will go back home, and obviously you say, well, look, if we just hold court at home, they'd be 3-1 going into Game 5. And so that's a good place to be. But you take away the guy who's the focal, and needless to say, everybody knows this, is Steph Curry's a great all-time shooter and their leading scorer, and he is their offensive kind of, first guy that you're going to look at, and certainly that Minnesota's going to look at in terms of who they're defending and how they're going to do it. And even the Rockets, we talked about this before. Look at how they defended the Warriors. It was all about Curry first. And so that becomes a problem. Now, the Warriors, I will say this. If you're looking for kind of a positive for the Warriors, they all year, they rotated about 12 guys throughout their rotation to try to get younger guys developed, keep people fresh, this load management thing where they're trying to utilize guys, and that's shown to where Quentin Post has a game, Podziemski has a game, and obviously Buddy Hield's been great lately.
Yeah.
Peyton off the bench. And so you got all these different guys. Kuminga hasn't done anything. But that guy in the regular season, there were games where he was their leading scorer and looked great. So maybe that can help them a little bit. Certainly we're going to see, the Jimmy Butler effect a little bit more. Draymond stepped up his offense, obviously Hield. They're going to have to defend. I think the Wolves get Game 2, and then it's what happens when they come back to the Bay Area. Can Golden State hang in there without Curry?
Chris Danker on tonight, NetScoutsBasketball.com, Pro Basketball Scout. One more, Nuggets Game 2 tonight. They won the Game 1 as well, and a buzzer beater. Are the Nuggets looking smart for changing the Michael Malone GM thing in the last week?
Yeah, only knowing what I know about it and that there was some dissension, behind closed doors and things that I don't know how much that was affecting the on-court or not. And Adelman's done a nice job of, you got to kind of mend it quickly and just sort of keep things together. Certainly a veteran team has won a lot. Those guys understand what's going on and what they're doing. And Adelman was already really, a key figure in terms of their offense especially. So I don't think anything's changed there. And you've got the Joker. That helps. But, I thought Oklahoma City made some mistakes late. Showed some youth. Again, the coach went in and kind of defended the game, the end of game plan in his press conference, talking about fouling. But I don't care if you're NBA or college or high school. I don't understand. I totally get fouling up 3 and not letting them hit a 3 to tie it. But I don't understand doing that 90 feet away from the basket. I don't understand doing it 1 second elapses off the clock. Make them dribble it over half court and then foul them. Kill clock, shorten the game, eliminate possessions. Because now what happens is when you foul them, they're walking down shooting free throws with the clock stopped, and then they're going to foul you. You got to understand what their game plan is going to be. They're going to make the free throws, press you, and foul you. And then now you're going to have to make more free throws if you extend the game, and they extended the game, and I think that was where they kind of made an error there. They allowed the Nuggets to continue to, and the Nuggets executed it. They did great. They executed everything you'd want to do there, and they did it and hit a big shot.
I'm with you, though. I think OKC gave that away. I was watching that. The Nuggets were down the whole time. Stormed back there and hit a huge shot. Nuggets trying to win game 2. I don't think they can, but we'll see how good OKC is. They've been really, really good. Game 2 tonight. Chris Denker talking NBA playoffs. Chris, always good, man. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it, Nate.
Appreciate you tonight. Chris Denker in basketball. NetScoutsBasketball.com, pro basketball scout, former D1 coach, talking Warriors, Wolves from the Bay Area, and more. Chris Denker on tonight. All right. Good stuff here. Hey, I just saw this promotion. It's Major League Baseball time. So there's a team that's trying to sell more season tickets. So they said, hey, you get a season ticket, we're going to give you free hot dogs for this price. You get some season tickets, you can get a free hot dog every game for this price. That got me thinking. Would you buy the season tickets for the free hot dog? And matter of fact, if you were in a big city, this is what I always say about living in South Dakota. I love it because I like visiting big cities. I don't want to live in big cities, the traffic, the this, the that. But the one thing I miss is I would love to go to games all the time. I would love to go to games all the time. So I asked this question of the day. If you were in a big city, which sport would you buy season tickets for the most? Free hot dogs or not? Next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
This summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny tomorrow, highs around 77. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 54. Chance of rain showers Friday, daytime highs approaching 79. 83, bright sunshine Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 65 degrees.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome back in the Nate Brown Show. We are live, Fox Sports Radio. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for spending some time with us. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, thought-provoking sports talk, 2 hours. Great guests across the board. Thanks for being here. Stream us live on X at Nate Brown Show right now. Follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show on X. Chris Halleck's coming up. He's the Steelers beat writer. Want reaction from Pittsburgh. They make a move today with George Pickens. Their owner, part owner, says it's complex with Aaron Rodgers. He was on CNBC today. Chris Halleck's in from DK Pittsburgh Sports, Steelers beat writer. Sam Herder's on tonight, second hour. FCS senior analyst talking FCS. Sam Herder straight ahead. Okay, so this is interesting. Teams are now doing these promotions to try and get more tickets sold, to try and get fans to come to games even more. Some attendance is great, but some teams are like, hey, we're going to do some promotions. The Milwaukee Brewers are offering a free hot dog club. Free hot dog club. But here's the thing. They charge $59 on top of your tickets to the Brewers games. $59 for the year for these season tickets to have a free hot dog every game. Then it's like, is it free? So, I mean, hot dogs, how expensive are they? You go to a Major League Baseball game, they're pretty expensive. Is it one of those just terrible hot dogs? A really small hot, or is it a Brewer dog? I mean, is this a Brewer dog? So for $59, the Brewers said, hey, you're a free hot dog club. You get a free hot dog every game. For the $59 you come to all these games, that's going to pay for itself. Overpay for itself. But here's the other catch. Fans are already ticked off in Milwaukee today. They charge you a sales tax on every quote-unquote free hot dog. So this fan has just tweeted out, what do you mean? I paid the $60 for my free hot dog, and I got popped with a sales tax on every charge. It was almost $1. Almost $1. So now the Brewers have announced this afternoon they're going to rescind the sales tax charge as well. So, so you truly get a free hot dog, I guess, if you're a Brewers ticket holder. By the way, I thought I'm going to turn this into the question of the day. If you're in a big city, what season ticket would you buy? I know season ticket holders for the Vikings. I know season ticket holders for the Broncos. I do know one for the Twins. Just one. I know for the Twins. I'm just saying, I love going to pro games. And I said if I lived in a big market, I would have season tickets for me and my family. End of story. I would have season tickets. Which teams, organizations would I buy? That's what I'm going to ask you. NFL? I mean, if you're in a market, you got to lock in your Sundays, right? Sundays are locked in. Now, that's a whole day deal. That's a full day deal because you're going to tailgate, you're going to do the thing. That's a pretty big commitment. What about Major League Baseball? You're talking 81 games? I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot. Would you buy baseball because you're going to get a ton of games? Is that the best value? Especially if you get a free hot dog. Unbelievable. So is that the best value? How about NBA? You need some winter entertainment. You got big stars. You get a lot of games there. NBA's going to give you some. So NFL's going to get a lot of votes today. I believe that, my question. Just because it's the biggest brand, that's the thing. You got to have Vikings season tickets. You got to have Broncos season tickets, Chiefs season tickets. You got to have those. Which one would you really buy? Would you buy NFL, and NBA and Major League Baseball? Would you buy them all? My question of the day, 605-720-1067. I'm curious, if you lived in a big market, which pro sports team would you absolutely have to get season tickets for? You know, I'm getting some responses because I left them out. I'm getting some responses already. NHL. I get it. I mean, hockey fans are true. They are true to the core. Hockey fans are true to the core. I've been to hockey games, Vegas, Colorado. I've been to hockey games. Let's see. I didn't grow up playing hockey, didn't grow up following a bunch of hockey, so I wouldn't do the hockey myself. What's my vote? If I had to, I told you, if I lived in a big city, I would get season tickets for my family. I would. That would be a huge thing for me to do. I would absolutely do NFL, so that's a gimme. I would do NBA my second priority. I would do NBA. I'm going to get a lot of games. I love hoops. I'm a big basketball guy, so I would do NBA. But would you tell me that's a waste for some of the regular season load management and the stars don't play as much and play as hard? Is that a waste? I don't think so. I would still do NBA. Let's see. 56% of the audience voting right now. We're over 100 votes on the Nate Brown Show question of the day. If you lived in a big market, which pro sports team would you absolutely get season tickets for? NFL, MLB, NBA, or all? Break out the checkbook. All. 56% of you say I would do NFL. Fall Sundays would be blocked out. 56% say NFL. Pretty high number here. 30% voting Major League Baseball. You get the most games. Major League Baseball. See, but that's why I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I would not get. Let's see. Let's just go with this. In Chicago. Let's say I lived in Chicago. I'm a Cubs fan. All right, I'm starting to talk myself into it. Would I get season tickets for the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field? All right. I'd do that too. I would do that too, but I'm saying I couldn't go to all those games. I couldn't spend the time to go to all those games. Weeknights. I know it's summer most of the time, but you got work. I mean, you're going to some of these big games. That's the headache, is getting to the games and the parking and the driving afterwards. I mean, it's a headache. When I go to an NFL game, it's like, all right, gear up, man. Gear up. What about, I got a listener response here, college football. I would go college football. Okay. Listener text. Oh, no, listener reaction on Twitter from Jesse. I don't currently live in a big city, but I drive the 4 hours each way. I have season tickets for the NFL. You Vikings fan, Jesse? I got it. I get you on that. Listener text. How about the rock pile in Denver for the Rockies? Used to be $5 to go to the games. $5 to go to the games. Yeah, I remember that. I never did the rock pile. Isn't that surprising? I never did the rock pile, but you could get right in and you're way out in Timbuktu out there in center field. But how much does the rock pile cost now? I mean, it was $5 back in the day, and the Rockies now stink. I mean, they should give you a free hot dog in the rock pile to go and watch the Rockies. Listener text, I would buy season tickets for Major League Baseball first, NFL, and yes, I want the free hot dog. But you got to pay the tax. No, the Brewers stopped that. We're good. Listener text, it's about $9.50 plus tax for a hot dog, $17 for a beer. What about offering one free beer per game? Then I would go for that deal. Oh, boy. Haven't you seen the fans at games already? Haven't you seen that? One free beer. I get it. I would take it, but get a little wild. Listener text, Rockies tickets should be free. Yes, they're not quite there yet. 56% of you say NFL would be your season ticket you'd have to get. I'm not surprised. I'm a little surprised. Major League Baseball coming in second. Most games, most value, 30%. 8% voting NBA. Got to have winter entertainment. 6% of you would buy all season tickets. Well, if I could get away with it, and let's say I lived in whatever market, if I could get away with it, I would try and do NFL, NBA. If there's a college football market, I'd probably go that route. Major League Baseball. If I'm in Chicago, Cubs tickets. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to spend their time watching the Cubbies? All right. Chris Halleck's coming up, Steelers beat writer tonight, talking about Pickens to the Cowboys. I want his reaction there. First, into the next hour, it's Wednesday. That is 5 questions from Chris. Our loyal listener sends me the questions. I'll give you the answers next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True, and you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. Well, time to see how your car weathered the winter.
That it is. Let's make sure your vehicle is ready to handle the warm months ahead.
Being a AAA and ASE certified shop, I know you guys are well equipped to do just that.
Justin and our techs have all the experience you need in diagnosing and repairing whatever may be ailing your vehicle.
And if finances are tight for customers, you can help there?
Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, which has really been a huge help for people who are in dire need of repairs. Call us with any questions on this program, or you can get an answer in minutes right from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button.
What a great option for those who have repairs that just can't wait.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic opportunity for many people.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, everybody. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytimeanytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
One more time. This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in Wednesday edition of the program. Glad you're on board. South Dakota Sports Talk Show Live. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Coming up, 2 great guests tonight. Chris Halleck is on the way. Steelers beat writer tonight. DK Pittsburgh Sports live from Pittsburgh. We'll talk Steelers tonight. Aaron Rodgers saga continues. And George Pickens is out the door, sending him to the Dallas Cowboys today. Chris Halleck on, talking Steelers. We'll go FCS. Sam Herder is in. Not great news when there's this discussion amongst all the power conferences today about who gets power, who gets voting power. Where does the FCS land? If they arrange it how they were talking today of who gets the big power when it comes to NCAA decisions, guess what? All right, Sam Herder's in, FCS senior analyst, coming up. What's on tap? That's what's on tap, brought to you by the new Campfire Bar, featuring 20 South Dakota brews on tap. The new Campfire Bar at Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron Boulevard. Mr. Liquor 2, South Dakota's best and biggest liquor store, unlike any other. Mr. Liquor 2 and the new Campfire Bar with live sports off Catron Boulevard. That's what's on tap on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Listener text coming in. I said I wouldn't necessarily buy Major League Baseball season tickets if I lived in a big market, Twins, Rockies, Cubs, whoever. I mean, I'm a Cubs fan. If I lived in Chicago, I might have to go down that road. I might. It'd be better than the Bears, I will tell you that. Listener text, you could sell your tickets to the games that you'd miss. I understand. It's a headache. That's a headache, selling tickets. So I would go NFL. You have a limited amount there. Huge sport. You have to have NFL season tickets. And then I'd go NBA. Major League Baseball in the mix for my Cubbies. I don't know if I lived in a market where I'm not a huge fan of a team. I don't know if I'd do that. It's a ton of games, and I'd look college football first. College football first. Hey, it's Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. You know what that means.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Chris, our loyal listener, sends me 5 questions every week, and I'm ready to go. 5 questions from Chris tonight. Question 1. It was announced last week the Washington Commanders want to build their new stadium on the site of their former home RFK Stadium in D.C. Now, the owner for the Commanders, for this $3.7 billion stadium, he's going to pledge a ton, and the District of Columbia would be responsible for $1 billion of infrastructure, parking garage. The D.C. City Council has 2 months to approve the agreement for the Commanders. Nate, do you think by July 25th, the city and the Commanders will sign the agreement for the infrastructure and the new stadium? I think so. Chris. Why do I say? I don't know all these inside politics and cities and stadiums. I mean, it's a disaster half the time. I mean, it is a disaster, but... So whenever you have a city council and a meeting and stuff, you don't know what's going to happen, but sounds like there's a ton of momentum with Washington. New ownership, way better than the Snyder era. I think people are excited. I think you're going to get a new Washington Stadium in D.C., RFK Stadium, D.C. City Council. What's the makeup? Good luck. I think they approve it. That's my guess from South Dakota. Question number 2. Along with the Commanders wanting a new football stadium, teams like the Bears, Browns, Bengals seeking public money for football stadiums. The city of Cleveland has already told the Browns ownership no to any partnerships for building a new Browns stadium. The daughter of the owner of the Bengals publicly said if they don't get an agreement with Cincinnati, they could move. Nate, with the team franchises valuations reaching huge numbers, will NFL teams become more like the Cowboys and build their own stadiums? Well, here's the thing, Chris. Vikings got some public money. A lot of these places do, because they say if we don't, we're going to take our ball and go home. Buffalo Bills, they got a new stadium. Vikings. I still believe, and I know billionaire owners, I don't feel sorry for them. I still believe they're going to play that game. We have to have community support and buy-in because our organization is an economic driver for cities. They're going to play that. I understand that it is, the Vikings have U.S. Bank Stadium. They didn't want that to go. So I don't think Minnesota would have lost their team, but they didn't want to even go down that road. Public-private partnerships, even for NFL teams, will continue. It will continue. So keep an eye, I guess, on Cincinnati. Question number 3, 5 questions from Chris. A soccer question, question 3. Actor Ryan Reynolds in 2021 bought a Welsh soccer team for £2 million. The soccer franchise has now been promoted. They've been winning. They've been promoted 3 consecutive years. Now they're in the English Premier League. Which American pro sports league should incorporate that promotion relegation system into their league? Oh, good question. Which American pro sports league should do relegation and promotion like the English League? Major League Baseball, hands down. If you're not cutting it, if you're the Rockies and you're going down this road, you're going to be playing in the Montana Pioneer League, boys. Good luck. You got to do something with these Major League Baseball teams that are tanking it. I don't know if their owners are making a boatload of money, but I think they're doing fine, and they don't care, half of these guys. So put relegation into Major League Baseball and send them to Puckwana, South Dakota, and we'll watch them for a summer. That and amateur baseball. What are you going to watch? Send them here. Question number 4. Major League Soccer owners are discussing changing the soccer league schedule to the European calendar. So that would be Major League Soccer would go August to mid-May. Should they change the current MLS soccer calendar? August to mid-May. I don't think so. Hey, we're talking Minneapolis soccer, January, February. Woof. Get it out. Can't have it. See ya. Got to keep it now. I know it gets hot. I mean, it's hot. It's warm here. It's the MLS calendar, but that would be too cold. You can't have it. See ya. Question number 5. 5 questions from Chris. In his final press conference, J.J. Redick for the Lakers used the words fitness championship shape 5 times. Do you think the Lakers are regretting trading for Luka Doncic? Not yet. Doncic is a player. He's not a good defender, but neither is James Harden. And so if you're telling me like the Clippers are going to say the foundation is still James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, I'll take Luka Doncic in a Lakers uniform. Who do you want, Doncic or James Harden? Okay, that's easy. So I'm not regretting it. I don't think the Lakers are regretting it. Doncic wasn't healthy there at the end. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be great for the Lakers. I think they're fine with Luka Doncic. 5 questions from Chris in the books tonight. We'll go to Pittsburgh next, live with Chris Halleck, Steelers beat writer. Why did they get rid of George Pickens today, and the Cowboys picked him up next?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at BHOSC.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 49. Tonight, under clear skies, winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 77. Lows level off around 54. Tomorrow night, chance for showers. Friday, high temperatures reach up to 79. 84, clear skies. Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 66.
This month at Spearfish GMC Cadillac, you will find a huge selection of locally sourced pre-owned vehicles. A busy April has brought in a ton of quality trades, cars, trucks, and SUVs. All makes and all models, all locally driven, locally trusted, and all priced below market for unbeatable savings. Hurry in today while the selection is at its best. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. We're streaming on X right now as well, at Nate Brown Show. If you follow us on X, you can watch the show live every afternoon right there at Nate Brown Show on X. One more shot on YouTube right now. Our YouTube channel is The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel. You can watch us live and archive shows there. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Thanks for checking in tonight, Wednesday edition of the program. Let's go to Pittsburgh. Covers the Steelers. Appreciate his time today. Busy one. DK Pittsburgh Sports. Great company there. Covering the Pittsburgh sports scene. They do a nice job. DKPittsburghSports.com. Chris Halleck. Chris, welcome back on. How are you?
Good to be here, man. It's been a busy day here in the Berg.
I believe that. So, reaction right away when you saw this popping from the Steelers. They're going to get rid of George Pickens, essentially, and trade him over to the Dallas Cowboys. Do you think Pickens wore out his welcome? There's a lot of varying reports here.
It's definitely. I think at the bare minimum we can say that there were both players and other people inside the building that were getting a little tired of just the maintenance. That's probably the best way to put it. It could be a little bit more, for from some people's reactions, they could be a little bit more harsh about it, but I think just the bare minimum we can say is that there were players and other people inside the building that were tired of the maintenance that it took, and I guess just the on-field production wasn't enough to deal with it.
Okay, so DK Metcalf, that was a big acquisition. Did you think this might be coming after that, or do you think they were thinking, well, we might roll with both of these guys?
Initially, the plan was for them to roll with both. I can say that definitively. There was no intention of right away, as soon as they welcomed DK Metcalf with open arms and signed him to that big 5-year, $150 million contract, they were like, all right, now let's turn around and trade George. That was not the initial plan, but whenever teams start calling, you have to start having an open mind, especially as I reported it on DKPittsburghSports.com several weeks ago that there was a full expectation that he was going to be a hold-in during training camp in hopes for a contract extension. And with everything that already happened last year, with the sideline antics, with putting expletive words on your face paint or on your eye black without saying anything to anybody, and that becoming its own story, and arguing with fans while you're on the sideline and all that stuff. Now you're going to take that and put on top of that the drama of a hold-in contract extension situation. I think at some point when teams are calling and you're like, okay, is this something we should actually entertain? And you're not doing it, you're not being a good GM if you're not picking up the phone and answering phone calls, and begin to kind of explore that a little bit. And, of course, they set a price, and they weren't going to part with him until they had a team be willing to offer that. And that's exactly what happened when the Cowboys offered a third-round pick and then the day 3 pick swap in 2027.
Chris Halleck on tonight from DKPittsburghSports.com. Great site for the Steelers coverage, Steelers beat writer. He's on X at Chris Halleck. You can follow him, a lot of Steelers fans across the country. So do you think Pickens is going to be a great player for the Cowboys? This is a tough one for me. He was kind of the man in Pittsburgh. I mean, they didn't have a bunch of wide receivers. He was kind of the man. And then if things didn't go that well, didn't run his routes, kind of bagged it at times. So now he's not going to be the man in Dallas. How do you think that goes?
I've had a lot, having somebody who used to live in the Dallas area, I have a lot of friends and family that have reached out to me asking, what should we expect whenever he's showing up on Sundays? And I'm like, well, I think he can be explosive, and I mean that both in a good way and a bad way. He can be explosive in a good way because he can make catches that almost nobody else in the league can catch. He has insane body control. Everybody's seen the highlights. He can make catches like nobody else can. But at the same time, what happens whenever CeeDee Lamb is getting 12 targets in a game and George Pickens is only getting 5? And that's a consistent thing. Is he going to start throwing more tantrums? Is he going to start getting upset? Is he going to start putting open bleeping always on his eye black again? Like, you never know what's going to happen. For his sake, he's got to figure out a way in order to be the number 2 in Dallas, because CeeDee Lamb is by far a better wide receiver. And if he really wants to get a really good contract in free agency, he's going to have to show teams that he can be a grown-up.
Yeah. Now, I get it. Pickens, I've seen some good stuff and then saw a lot of bad stuff. You were right there covering it. Chris Halleck on tonight from DKPittsburghSports.com. I want to get your read on Russell Wilson. So Pittsburgh moves on there. Was there real frustration there with Wilson, Arthur Smith? Did that just not work? Is that why Russell didn't come back?
There was, I don't know if it's just a thing with just Arthur Smith. Well, I would say, I shouldn't say I don't know. I should say it's not just a thing with Arthur Smith. There was a switch that flipped because in August, before the season started, they were already planning on trying to re-sign Russell Wilson once the season ended. They were completely married to the idea of multiple years with him. And by the time the season came to an end, and remember, the Steelers lost the last 4 games of the regular season and then were embarrassed by allowing 299 rushing yards against their division rivals in the wild card round. That leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And the way that the quarterback play was going, whenever it was going, I mean, literally Russell Wilson did not attempt one pass in the intermediate portion of the field in that loss to Baltimore in the playoffs. It just was not a fit anymore. And we reported, DK on our site, DKPittsburghSports.com, reported it, saying that it's not happening. The Steelers are not bringing back Russell Wilson, and that's why whenever free agency was coming along, you heard a lot of stuff about Justin Fields possibly coming back to Pittsburgh, and then when Justin Fields went to the Jets, you saw the immediate pivot to Aaron Rodgers, and they have stayed on that for 8 weeks. Never once was there a breath about bringing back Russell Wilson, and it's just because the marriage just came to an end with the way the season ended.
Okay, the part owner of the Steelers was on CNBC this morning, said Aaron Rodgers' more complex issue than AI. I think he was joking around a little bit, tongue-in-cheek there, but Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed yet. Chris, I had an NFL national writer on tonight. He said Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers, end of story. Do you believe that?
I keep telling people it's a matter of when, not if. I fully expect him to be the quarterback of the Steelers in 2025. It's obviously not official yet. It's obviously not a done deal yet. He still has yet to actually say, all right, go ahead and drop the paperwork. I'm coming. I'm going to sign. But every indication from everybody that I've spoken with throughout this entire process is that they, in the building, are extremely confident that it's going to happen at some point. More confident than they were that they were going to get a big-time receiver either last year or this year. They ended up getting that big receiver in DK Metcalf, and they are even more confident about signing Aaron Rodgers. So I do think it's going to happen at some point.
What is Steelers fans, Steeler Nation, what do they say about bringing in Aaron Rodgers? What's your read?
A lot of them do not want it to happen. I honestly, personally, from understanding football, don't understand it. Of all of the potential options they could have had at quarterback in 2025, outside of re-signing Justin Fields and seeing if that possibly turns into an actual future, there's not really a better option. They did re-sign Mason Rudolph after he went to Tennessee for a year, and they do have full faith in Mason Rudolph if he has to start football games for them, which is why they signed him, because he's a safety net just in case things do fall through with Aaron Rodgers. But they know that if they get into an actual playoff game where they have to go into the same stadium as Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson, that they need a little bit more firepower than what Mason Rudolph can provide. And while Aaron Rodgers is not the guy who he used to be, there's still a little bit of magic in that arm, and it kind of was showing itself a bit down the stretch with the Jets last season. It was going under the radar because the Jets were terrible and they were out of it, and so nobody was really watching, but he was still making some throws that, that's a guy who's definitely won 4 MVPs before. So it's just a 1 year thing with Aaron Rodgers. That would be the one thing that I would tell everybody. It's not like they're trying to bring this guy in to be the quarterback for the next 3 years. They have their eyes set when it comes to long-term answers at quarterback on the draft next year, which, by the way, will be in Pittsburgh.
Okay, last one for Chris Halleck. Do you think the Steelers should have tried the Shedeur Sanders play?
No way. No way. And they did not. That was never a thing. I had been reporting since the Senior Bowl in Mobile, which is at the end of January, that defensive tackle was going to be a priority for them. And I continued to ask questions, continued to probe, continued to talk to people throughout the entire draft process. And so as soon as Shedeur Sanders came in for the pre-draft visit on the South Side, I knew that people were going to run away with that and think, the Steelers need a quarterback, and he's the second-best quarterback in the draft class, and everybody's going to get all excited. And I kept telling people, their stance has not changed. Defensive tackle has been their priority, and lo and behold, Shedeur Sanders is sitting there for the taking at 21, and what do they take? A defensive tackle out of Oregon named Derek Harmon, who is pretty much a prototype of Cam Hayward. So, yeah, that's your answer.
Okay, so you say their focus could be, let's maybe look to next year in the draft. Well, if you have Aaron Rodgers, let's say they have a pretty nice year. They're expecting, hey, we should have a nice year. That's easier said than done to go find your guy in the draft then.
It's easier said than done, but it's possible. Remember, when the Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes, they went 12-4 the year before and were picking 27th in the draft the next year. And they had Alex Smith, a Pro Bowl quarterback, on their roster. And they traded a future first and a third-round pick in that draft to move up 17 spots to go get Patrick Mahomes. And I think that trade worked out pretty well for them. So if the Steelers can do something similar, if they're picking 22nd, 24th, or something along those lines, where they are pretty much another 10-7 team and losing the wild card round, or maybe even win a playoff game and then lose, they can still. They have a projected 12 draft picks next year, with three of them being third-round picks. They will have the capital they need to possibly move up and go get whichever quarterback they want, pretty much.
Great stuff tonight. Chris Halleck on from Pittsburgh, DKPittsburghSports.com. If you haven't hit that site, really good on the Steelers and more, DKPittsburghSports.com. Chris, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Chris Halleck tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Steelers beat writer, DKPittsburghSports.com. On Twitter at Chris Halleck. Good stuff, good insight. Steelers get rid of George Pickens today to the Cowboys. Here we go. Lister text coming in on that trade. Let's see here. I got to find this. Cowboys are a perfect fit for Pickens. It's already a circus there. What's the big deal of another clown on the team? Oh, my goodness. My good. Hey, South Dakota, nice. That's a good one. Nice one. Sam Herder's in next on the Nate Brown Show, FCS senior analyst. FCS, they're low man on the totem pole, but I think they're going to be even lower after what I heard today. That's coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale is on now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window. Plus enjoy no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Get an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Isn't it time for new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen? With mortgage interest rates where they are right now, so many people are renovating their own homes rather than moving. And there's never been a better time to invest in awesome new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen's legendary windows have been the best you can get for decades, but many people don't know that Renewal by Andersen also has incredible new ensemble entry doors and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows, which are winning rave reviews from clients. Renewal by Andersen's windows, ensemble entry doors, and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows will make your home so much more energy efficient on cold winter nights or hot summer days. Those new windows and doors will make your home so much more quiet and secure. We hear that all the time. Please visit RBARapidCity.com to schedule a free consultation. Be sure to ask about our great offers and really attractive financing options right now.
Winter is losing its grip and we are headed for warmer weather to come. How did your car make it through the winter? Hi, this is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. Winter is hard on your car, especially on the components underneath. The sand and chemicals that make winter driving safer can affect the brakes, chassis, and exhaust parts. While you have your car in for routine maintenance, we'll inspect your car to make sure you are set for spring and summer travels.
Al's D&I Repair on Sturgis Road. Call 348-1447 to set up your appointment.
This is the Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to the Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
It is the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. This hour driven by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned in South Dakota, start at SummitAutoGRP.com. Great selection, car buying built around you, the Summit difference. From start to finish, the right financing for you and your family, the right selection, SummitAutoGRP.com. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Sam Herder, FCS Senior Analyst, HeroSports.com. Follow Sam if you're not. You got to do that at Sam Herder FCS. Some interesting things I want to talk with Sam tonight. Welcome in, man. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate your time as always. I thought this was interesting as the NCAA is talking about governance and things moving forward. People are always interested. Okay, how are things going to change here? Ross Dellinger was reporting on this, and I saw you were reacting to it. So essentially, new governance model. They're kind of trying to figure out, hey, what do we do here? Shrink some committees, give the Power Four some voting power. What I noticed basically is the FCS, like all of the schools, had like one vote for like how things will go if this is adopted. What do we think here?
Yeah, I think it really just gives the Power Four conferences. They already kind of were, considered autonomy, but I think this just adds to it even more. And there's so many councils and boards and committees in the NCAA, and you have to, for things to be approved, it has to go through a committee, and then through the council, or then through some board of governors, something. I think this kind of streamlines the process. And it also makes it so the Power Four conferences have more of a say and stuff. And I think to a certain extent, this is maybe a good thing because, yes, mid-majors have less representation on these boards. But at the same time, it's better than the Power Four completely breaking away from the NCAA. I think that potentially could have been disastrous. And also, I think it makes sense in the fact that what the Power Four programs want to see passed as far as rules is much different than what mid majors are looking for. And so if the SEC and Big Ten and those type of conferences want to pass a certain thing for their conferences to allow them to do so, why is the NEC and the Patriot League and the Summit League, why are they also voting on these matters and talking about these matters? And so I think in a certain sense, it does make sense to kind of appease the Power Four when it comes to this new governance model.
Okay, so new NCAA D1 governance model is being discussed here. It's kind of being thrown around. And you say, well, instead of the Power Four just breaking off and starting their own thing, breaking off from the NCAA, they're gonna kind of stay in here. They're gonna get more power. You say that's actually okay. Why? If Power Four broke off, what do you think happens? The NCAA just says, we're not interested in FCS and all these other people?
Well, it's less about it's less about the FCS in this perspective and more just about mid-majors in general because, for a lot of these mid-major conferences to operate, they rely on NCAA distribution. And a lot of that NCAA distribution comes from the men's basketball tournament. And if the Power Four breaks away, what happens to that men's basketball tournament? All that TV money goes to whatever new Power Four basketball tournament, and whatever that may be. And what happens to the baseball tournament and the softball tournament? Like the FCS playoffs would still be the FCS playoffs, but I do think it's important for the Power Four and the mid-majors and the low majors to all meet in the same postseason brackets, except for football, of course. I do think that is still important. And then also, again, just the NCAA distribution, that these mid-major conferences rely on. And if you take away the Power Fours and they do their own tournaments, I don't know, where that money would come from for these mid-major conferences to operate their budget.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. Sam Herder, good stuff, FCS senior analyst, HeroSports.com. So FCS Oversight Committee votes in favor of a 12-game football season, regular season. What do you think? What's that going to provide for an FCS program that maybe wants to play 12 games?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. It was voted on by the FCS Oversight Committee, and then they pass it on to the Division I Council, who will then they kind of have the final vote on it in late June. And so it's not official yet. Just one more vote in this governance process to make it go through for sure. But typically the FCS regular season is 11 games, unless there is an extra week in the calendar between Labor Day and Thanksgiving, and that was the case this year and last year actually for 12 games. But this pretty much makes what has been Week 0 the new Week 1 for the FCS, which I think is very valuable because there's usually only 2-3 FBS games going on during Week 0, and now FCS teams can begin playing games the Thursday of what has been Week 0. And so the FCS kind of has Thursday, Friday, and most of Saturday all to themselves to get games on national television. And we know how hungry college football fans are in late August to see college football. And it could be Mercer, Alabama, or it could be Mercer versus North Alabama. There's going to be 1.5 million people watching that just because it's college football. And so I do think that's the positive is some more media exposure. National television television exposure for the FCS. I also think it can increase, revenue. That's another potentially sold out game for South Dakota State. That's an extra, whatever it is in ticket revenue. And it also could lead to better matchups as well, non-conference wise. I know some teams have difficulty scheduling and filling out their schedule as it is, but all of a sudden if you have week 0 to yourself, maybe Montana calls up South Dakota State and they pitch some non-conference game to be played on that Friday night, on ESPN or something like that. So I do think there's much more value to this than there are any potential negatives.
Speaking of SDSU, they pick up a transfer running back from Fordham. How big of a pickup do you think that is for the Jacks?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I know some fans will, they like the transfers that come in from Iowa or Nebraska or these Power 4 programs. But to me, when you bring in a Power 4 transfer that doesn't have any game tape, sometimes that can work out, sometimes it doesn't. What moves the needle for me more is when there's an FCS to FCS transfer who is proven at this level, who has proven to have success at this level. And that's what they got with Julius, the running back from Fordham, back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher, first-team All-Patriot League selection, really physical runner as well. Last year around this time, I ranked him as the number 12 or 13 returning FCS running back. So he's one of the better backs in this subdivision, and he's gotten it done against FBS opponents as well. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, he went over 120-something yards against an FBS opponent. So it's not just he's running wild on Patriot League opponents. He's gotten it done against FBS opponents as well. So I think finding an impactful guy like him is one of the more impressive FCS to FCS transfers during this offseason.
Sam Herder on tonight, FCS senior analyst, HeroSports.com. Follow him at Sam Herder FCS. Sam, always appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Sam Herder on tonight, covering some topics across the FCS. D1 governance model. It's hard to follow. You're like, what does this mean? Basically, they're trying to talk, what does the new governance model look like in college sports? Some people have talked about, what if these Power 4 conferences just break away totally? They already have the college football playoff. That's their own thing. What if they just break away out of the NCAA, say, we're going to do our own men's tournament and all that? That doesn't appear to be the case in these discussions right now, the D1 governance model. So Sam Herder saying that's good for the smaller programs. They get revenue from the men's tournament. The NCAA distributes that. So as long as the Power 4 stays with some of the, even if they get more power, we're going to do this and this and this, still better than the total breakaway from the NCAA. So that's interesting stuff coming out today. Who's hot and who's not? That's always fun. There's something wrong with society, and this sports story spells that out specifically. Who's hot and who's not next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Atlas Shingles provide the best value in residential roofing. They feature a limited lifetime warranty and wind warranty up to 130 miles per hour. Their super wide design saves on installation time and labor. Choose from 20 options in stock and ready to take home today. Visit us in store or on Menards.com and shop our great selection of quality roofing products.
Save big money at Menards.
It seems like the cost of everything is going up, so it's nice to save a little dough when you can, especially for something you love to eat every day. Before I go grocery shopping, I print out a coupon for $1 off any Country Hearth, Village Hearth, or Artisan Hearth bread product. My favorite is Dakota Style 12 grain. My wife's breakfast go-to is a toasted Village Hearth English muffin. We can save $1 on each. Go to countryhearthbreads.com/coupons and print 1 or 2 out before your next shopping trip. And don't forget, Country Hearth, Village Hearth, and Artisan Hearth bread products are baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Hey, golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 49. Tonight, under clear skies, winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 77. Lows level off around 54. Tomorrow night, chance for showers. Friday, high temperatures reach up to 79. 84, clear skies. Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 66.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, let's do this on a Wednesday night, every night at this time. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon, 2 locations in Rapid City. Stop by tonight. The Pizza Ranch Buffet, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. In my Who's Hot tonight, well, you may have seen the Caitlin Clark game in Iowa. The numbers came out, and it's the real deal. The Caitlin Clark Fever game is a preseason game. It's the largest audience ever for a WNBA preseason game on TV. That's no surprise. But it's the highest-rated preseason game outside of 2 of ESPN's 57 NBA preseason games, going back 15 years. There was only 2 other games that beat the Caitlin Clark game on ESPN preseason. Both of them had LeBron James. I mean, it's unbelievable. Something the league hasn't had. That's how big it was. 1.3 million watched the preseason Fever game. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not tonight, a fan of Colorado's Shedeur Sanders has sued the NFL for $100 million for emotional distress because Shedeur got picked in the 5th round. What's wrong with us? Well, anyway, I'm trying to get this $100 million because I was so upset. But anyway, okay, all right. Give me a break. $100 million? Why do we even do this? Is this guy, what is he doing? Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now. See you back here tomorrow.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason